Welcome to lesson 4 of the Daniel FX Forex Trading strategy. Now, this is a continuation of the first video I did covering fundamental analysis. That first video is the theory part of fundamental analysis. This is the practical part of fundamental analysis. I highly recommend you watch that first video before we go into this one. I have linked it below for your convenience. Now, let's get into the practical part of fundamental analysis. Why do we concern ourselves with fundamental analysis if we are not going to trade it? Well, the answer to that question is it is as important to know when to trade and to know when not to trade. So we as fully technical traders, we study fundamental analysis to know when not to trade. So the first thing I'm gonna need you to do is open up your Play Store or your iStore and download the investing.com app. Go ahead and download the investing.com app. So I'm gonna skip this step because obviously I already have it, but if you don't have it, download the app, and then once it's done, open up the app. It's very simple, guys. Once it's done, open up the app and it will ask you to log in or to sign up. Most of you are gonna need to sign up. Put in your email address, your phone number, and create a password, all the login info, and then sign up. Once you're done signing up, the app will be ready for you. So what you're going to do, you will see at the bottom it says markets, news, calendars, watch list, and more. Click on calendars, and then on the right, on the top right, you will see 3 orange lines. Click on it, and then you're gonna set your attention to the importance subheading right there where it says set importance. This is probably how yours will look. It will have the low ticked, the medium ticked, and the high ticked. What I'm gonna need you to do is untick the low, untick the medium, to where you are only left with the high. Now what this is, ladies and gentlemen, is it shows you only the high impact news. It's a filter. It only shows you the high impact news. But even with the high impact news, some news here do not move. That's why I have made your job very easy by giving you a list of the high impact news. Number 1, you have your employment data, which is your NFP and unemployment rate. You have your central bank meetings, which is your FOMC meeting minutes. You have your inflation data, which is your CPI, core CPI. You have your economic growth data, which is your GDP. And you have your manufacturing and services, which is your ISM services and PMI. Now, you see your NFP, your unemployment rate, your FOMC meeting minutes, your CPI, your core CPI, your GDP, your ISM services, and your PMI. These are all the names of news events. So if you go back to your investing.com app, you will see the news I was talking about. You will see the GDP, you will see the CPI, you will see the PPI, you will see all those news events that I was listing. Now, If those news events are not there, you're gonna have to look here by your employment data, your central bank meeting minutes, your inflation data, your economic growth data, your manufacturing and services. Now these are key words. If those news events are not there, if your NFP, if your unemployment rate, if your GDP, your CPI, your PPI, if the names of those news events do not show up, you're gonna want to click on the news event. So guys, this is basically checking if the news event will move. You're gonna want to click on it, and then you're gonna have to read the description and look for those keywords that we talked about: your employment data, central banking minutes, inflation data, economic growth data. You're gonna have to look by the more details and read. If both the news events, if both the unemployment rate, NFP, FOMC, core CPI, GDP, and economic growth data, if both of these information don't show, if the keywords and the names of the news events, if they don't show in the more details, if they don't show here, it means that news event doesn't move. But other than that, if they do show, then that news event is going to move. Let me give you an example of a news event. And let's say you have USD CPI. Now, CPI was one of the news that we talked about, which will move. So basically meaning this news event is going to affect any pair that is USD. For example, let's say you have your GBP USD. So since this pair has USD, it basically means that that news will affect this pair. If we look at USD Canadian dollar, it basically means that news event will affect this pair. So either I do not trade this pair during the news, or I can trade the pairs, but I make sure I close my positions before the news. To know when to close, you are provided with the time right here, guys. It gives you the time, so you know exactly when to open and close your trades. Now let's say I'm trading GBP JPY, and there's a news event at 3, but I'm trading GBP JPY, which is not a problem, meaning that news event will not affect me because I am not trading a pair that contains GBP JPY. It's literally that simple, guys. Write this information down, then the next time when there's a news event, you will know exactly what to look for. As a wise man once said, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.